Let's start.
Let's start. So, good afternoon to one and all. I, Bableen, welcome all of you to this webinar organized by the Department of Development, Communication, Extension and Journalism. This year holds a special significance for us because we are celebrating 60 years of the foundation of our college, Institute of Home Economics, and we are turning it into an opportunity for greater learning, for expanding our knowledge, and about the issues that are important to us, about the issues that impact us. And one such issue is ethical challenges of journalism, on which today's session is based. The objective of journalism is to disseminate the correct information, but sometimes this goal conflicts with journalistic ethics. There are many ethical considerations that lie at the center of journalism. Media revolution is transforming the nature of journalism, its ethics. The way we engage with media is also changing, and thus there's a greater need to understand the ethical challenges and finding ways to overcome these challenges to uphold the value of public good. So, to share knowledge and greater insight into this topic, we have our guest speaker with us today, Professor SHASWATI GOSWAMI. We welcome you, ma'am, and thank you so much for accepting our invite and sharing your knowledge, coming here to share your knowledge with us. To begin this session, I would like to ask my colleague Sakshi to formally introduce our guest speaker to all of you. Thank you. Over to Sakshi.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And welcome, Shashwati, ma'am. Today we have Professor Shashwati Goswami with us, who is the professor and head of the Department of Communication Research at Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi. Previously, as an academic, as a professional, as a media professional, she has been associated with All India Radio, India's national radio broadcaster, BBC, and Assam Tribune. As a media academic personality, she received various fellowships, including Rockefeller Archive Center, New York, E.W. Scripps of Journalism, Ohio University, and her major research and interest area includes media policy, education, and political economy of media gender, development, and conflict zone of journalism. She has been the alumnus of Jawaharlal Nehru University. She did her doctorate from GNU. She completed her master's from Miranda House University of Delhi and did her graduation from Cotton College, Guwahati University. So I think that with all of her knowledge and experience, we would be able to understand today's lecture. So the fraternity of Department of Development, Communication, Extension and Journalism welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Kaur and Dr. Mishra, and I see Dr. Bad as well. Um, um, in spite of all the formalities, I am just another journalist. Actually, I still remain a journalist. I write my pieces still. And whatever I'll speak today is not just from the books, it's from practice. Books, of course, are written on practices. I had not written anything, but I would like to share with you what I personally had faced as a journalist, because Shakshi has said, I was initially started my life with the Assam Tribune as a reporter, and at that time there were not very few, actually no women reporter. I was a very young girl, and getting a reporter's job was really a challenge. They liked the women to be on the desk editing pages, but I somehow managed to scurry through it and get it. Challenges, ethics is something which rules our life actually. So, and please don't confuse morality with ethics. These are two very different things. Ethics is the way of your life, the value system that you adhere to. Morality changes with culture. Every culture has a very different moral paradigm, but ethically, we have all the same values across the world. So, that is why it is easier to talk about ethics. I am not a moralist. First, I don't judge anyone because I'm not a moralist. You will judge people, you start judging people when you have moralities very strictly adhering to so-called your culture. So when like I am a person who will be meandering around. Okay, I don't stick to what I really want to say. I just remember one thing. Yeah, there is a tribe in Assam called the Karbi tribe, and they allow the youngsters to mix and observe each other and decide on the on with whom that person will like to get into a relationship. They don't get married. They start a relationship, they stay together, and they wait till children are born. And once the children are born, they say, see that okay, now we are sure that we can stay together. They get married. So I remember going to my classmates when we were in class 10. I remember that we celebrated my classmates' parents' wedding. So now, from another moralistic perspective, it is very bad. Live in itself is a challenge. We are still arguing it in our courts, right? Still, whether the live-in partner should have rights or wrongs, or what means, should that woman, whether now the other question is that why you are talking about the female partner, what about the male partner? Uh, what is the right of that male partner? By saying that the female partner should have right over the male's property or income or everything, you are actually adhering to the patriarchal pattern of the society. So this comes under the purview of morality. But ethically, now I am reporting an incident which is of which talks of domestic violence, and we find out that the girl has actually misused the Domestic Violence Act and blamed the men's family. Now, there is a tendency of the entire journalistic fraternity, even us, to say, you see, half of the time the men are not to be blamed. Half of the time the girls are misusing it. One incident cannot be called the pattern. Similarly, just by all the time giving example of Kiran Bedi being the epitome of women's empowerment doesn't mean that all women are empowered. So when you are balancing your judgment on one issue and you are writing a report, from which ethical angle are you looking at? Basic ethics is, of course, humanity. When 9/11 happened in US, we didn't see a single dead body. Not a single dead body was shown by their television, even Fox television for that. Fox TV with all its hyperboles, they also didn't show a single dead body. We could see only the memoriam when people putting flowers and names and pictures, but not a single dead body. Was the pain actually diluted inside us? Or by showing dead bodies after dead bodies after dead bodies, massacre, mutilated, are we completely numbing the emotions that we have? Too much of exposure to everything, based off the food also will make you feel tasteless one day. So when you as a journalist, you are going out into the field and reporting an issue, first and foremost, to whom are you answerable? You might easily tell me, I'm doing a job in XYZ newspaper or television, so I'm answerable to them. It's the easiest answer. So you'll have to adhere to their principles. Now, should they have a principle which is devoid of ethics? Should any journalistic organization have any principle which is devoid of ethics? They don't say that. Journalism of courage, integrity, XYZ, they will have their taglines everywhere. But when it comes to reporting something, they will definitely will, they will find out a way to turn the picture around. Just for one example. Someone is bothering me. Please don't mind. I don't know. This seems to be very urgent. I'll just take the call. Hello. हाँ बताइए. मैं तो ऑफिस में हूँ अभी. अभी घर जाइए, बेल बजाइए. अब ना, अभी मैं क्लास में हूँ. आपसे मैं बाद में बात कर पाऊंगी, अभी नहीं. जो एड्रेस जहाँ लिखा है उसमें चले जाइएगा प्लीज. हाँ, B5 and 6 है. ओके, B5 and 6, B5 and 6 and 6. B5 and 6. हाँ, केंद्रीय विद्यालय है बसंत कुंज का, उसके पास. I'm going to throw the phone away. I'm really, really, really sorry because I get very worried when people are calling me consistently. Anyway, so say you are now, because you also are taught development communication. So I am going to use examples of development too. Okay. So say you are a reporter covering a big dam construction. What is the big dam doing as development as well as maybe the other side of development? I don't want to call it destruction, right? So you go there, you see that there's a big dam coming up and things are being really, I personally, it is again a personal story sharing with you. Northeast India has had been planned to have 165 big dams, and one big dam has already come up, and I reported on that issue for a long time. And then what happened was that I saw that small communities, because it's on the border area of Assam and Arunachal Pradesh, so small tribes of Arunachal Pradesh were completely, actually they have been erased from the face of the earth, because it was a tribe of say 100 people. They were given money, and they were as compensation. And you all know that the tribal people do not actually adhere to the norms of right to land. They have the concept of community land, and many of them are nomadic tribe. In a sense, they will go from one village to another and do their agriculture every year. So one community, I tracked down one community, few people, and then I came to know that they were given money, which was in lakhs, so they thought it was big money. A person who is earning 50 rupees a day, for them 1 lakh rupees is like something else. And I'm talking about 2000, somewhere around 2005-6. So even then 1 lakh rupees was not very bad. It was good money. So they didn't have space to stay because only compensation was given. They were not rehabilitated. So they took the money and went to the cities and towns nearby, and they were finished off because they lost connection. A culture, a community survives being together. These are small communities. They were being together. They had kept the secret of their food, their songs, their literature, which is oral, of course, their weaving techniques, and everything was gone. Everything was destroyed. Then, because the dam was coming in it is a dam, and of course, Northeast India is all alluvial soil. So, and in 1950, the big earthquake had already changed the topography of that particular area. So, the hard soil had come up and the soft soil went down. So anyway, the geographically talking from the perspective of geography also, the area was not right for dams. But of course, we need electricity. I'm not debating that point. Now, leaving that aside, I wrote a piece for one of the newspaper. I'm not taking names of the newspapers because let's not go into, again, this is an ethical norm not to take the name of the newspaper until and unless I can show you some documentary evidence. So I was asked to write for an English newspaper. I wrote that news, and it came on the front page of the Guwahati edition, and I was very happy. It was a very scatting news, and it is long form writing. And I talked to those people who have my friends, because I did my master's from Delhi University, so I have friends all over the country, many IS officers and success, so and that. So I called a few of them and said that do check this news today and tell me how do you find it. And they called me back and said that we don't see it. It's not there in our newspaper. I said, no, it is there in the newspaper. I have seen it on the hard copy. And that was not the time of online searching of newspaper. They didn't have portals. Okay. So then I asked few of my friends to scan the first page and send it to me. So few of them downloaded the PDF copy. It was available and sent it to me. Not in a single other city this news was published. And then when I scrolled through the news, then I found out the construction agency of that dam, National Hydropower Corporation, they actually had a full page advertisement on the newspaper that day. And the the one who pays the piper pay decides the tune. So now here the ethical dilemma is: are you going to stop writing? Are you going to stop writing? What do you do? These are means I felt very sad, because I was writing, I was continuously writing on such issues. Development induced displacement was my issue, and I was writing on such issues in vernacular, means in Assamese, because I wanted the people from Assam to be more aware that, because it's a very regional topic. This was the first time a national newspaper picked up and asked me to write, and they didn't even put it out on the national, so-called national. Again, this is also debate. What is national? It's a center periphery debate. Creating periphery out of center, and then periphery and periphery and periphery. So all these issues, this dilemma. So are we going to adhere to now the one who had decided whether my news will be, my reporters will be going on on the newspaper on that particular date, had his or her own ethical dilemma, because the newspaper, the price of the newspaper which we buy it for is not the real price. 90% of the price is actually paid by the advertisers. So definitely, when Mr. Jain of Times of India said, I love his honesty, that we are not in the business of news, we are in the business of advertising, is what news is. So now, as a student of journalism, you go out and you think that you are the fourth pillar of democracy, you are going to change the world, like all the IAS officers think. First thing that they say in the UPSC and in interviews, I want to do something for the society. And you know what they do. We have seen them. Why cannot they do? It's not that they don't want to do. There are many people, many IAS officers who are doing and being penalized because of them. Someone is transferred in 1 year 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times. Right? But still they go on doing. This is also something that you imbibe. Like Dr. Baid has asked me, give me the mantra of being on time. It's just something that have it inside you. Inside you, you cannot compromise. But the issue right now is, because of the proliferation of the digital platform, ethical dilemma is more on your face. You don't know exactly what to do. Because there is a news which is coming to you. You can see so many newspapers and television channels are thriving on the news being distributed on Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, and Facebook. There are so many news portals who are completely dependent on the airport looks of the stars. They just, if you I am on Instagram to understand this. Actually, I rarely put up 1 or 2 posts you will find in a year, but mostly to understand how it happens. So they decide who is important. So you might be a extremely popular star of web portal, means what do you call it, web series and Netflix or Amazon, but they will not follow you. They will follow Shahid Kapoor and Mira Kapoor rather than you, because you are content driven person. You are not a glamour driven person. So I Bollywood Life, there is a website. Indian Express Entertainment, there is a website on there. They have an Instagram page too. And then there are other such Bollywood centric pages. If you look at it, Kareena Kapoor Khan puts up the ass of her son, sorry for that language, the ass of her son's photo on her Instagram with a very cute sort of a note, which has nothing to do with anybody else except the mother. That's Kareena Kapoor. But immediately within seconds, you will see it being flashed in the other platform, other channels too, like whatever. It's so many Bollywood Life and all those platforms. So in this case, there is a crisis of what to pick up and what not to pick up. What is the news? How do you really, the main challenge of an ethical view of ethical dimension of a news is to how do you know whether it is a credible news? Because I have seen my very well educated, almost on the verge of vice chancellorship professors, my friends, send me WhatsApp messages which are completely fake. And that I'm not blaming that person, because he also got it from someone who is as credible to the society as he is. I, as a person, I on principle do not send anything without fact checking. To maintain your ethical norms, you start it from your WhatsApp messages. As a student of journalism, this is first thing that you have to do. Fact check, because the moment you are spreading false, fake news is the moment you are actually compromising with the ethical values of someone. You are creating trouble for that person. And remember one thing, when you are talking to someone face to face, you can be as, bindas, the word that you like, as you want. That, because that will, as the third person or the fourth person or nobody is there, both of you can actually fight it out. But when other people are there, you have to be careful while calling names or even poking fun of someone. You have to understand that that person is now behind, there is a surrounding. That is what a journalist do. You might be calling someone names face to face, but not in a public platform. So the ethical norms of our public platform is always, first and foremost, think, will it hurt someone? The moment I write something, is it going to hurt someone? Yes, also there is another dimension. Some people are there just to get hurt. You cannot help them. They just take umbrage on everything you put on them. That is also not something that you can really take care of. But think of it. If someone just wants to own the hurt and say, "Oh, I am hurt," then it's difficult. But if, in a wider perspective, when you are talking about something, is it going to hurt someone's gender, someone's religion, someone's value system, someone's food habit, someone's dressing habit, someone's XYZ? So many things. Now, we just had Karwa Chauth. The moon had decided to play a prank on that day, and the women were all on my WhatsApp group. There's a RWA group, and Kab Aayega chant. Of course, in our part of the country, we never had Karwa Chauth. Thanks to Karan Johar, everybody is celebrating now. So it's okay. For the sake of celebration, let's do it. I'm saying that. But By calling, when you are contesting the feminist approach towards Karwa Chauth, be very careful when you write, because they always come out with one particular line saying that this is my personal choice, but they or you also don't know that choices are already made for you. When you go to a buffet, see, so many dishes are laid out, but these are already laid out and you choose from there. So Karwa Chauth is already laid out by Karan Johar for you to eat, and you are eating it. This is not your choice. That you are wearing earrings and all sorts of ornaments, or you are dressing up in a particular way, is not your choice. I'm very sorry, because the choices are already made. We can have a debate on this. I have had debate on this with my students, and I love this, because that actually rattles you. That makes you think, okay, nowadays there is a reverse Karwa Chauth too. The man also goes on I call it reverse Karwa Chauth. Man also goes for what do you call it, fasting, uh, and not because the religious mandate is you fast for the better health of your husband, and not the other way around. It is because my wife is fasting, I am also fasting, then we'll go for a 5-star fast breaking ceremony, and I'll gift you a gorgeous necklace. So the archies are making money, the 5-star hotels are making money out of all the things that you are doing. You want to write on this, write this, but write it with objectivity. Don't be blaming someone. See, someone is, when it was a community celebration of a particular community who had done it for their community beliefs and values, it was still, there was some pristine things out there. Though I don't agree with it, but it was there. Now it has become a market oriented celebration. Everything, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Sister's Day, Daughter's Day, I don't know what else. Everything is market oriented. So if you want to show, then you have to show it very objectively without hurting anyone. The, Karwa Chauth is 99% of the urban women does it as a celebration, and they have fun. Basically, it's a extended kitty party. It's an extended kitty party. But by saying this, if I'm hurting someone's values, then I have to be really clear how I will defend myself. You just cannot hurt someone just because you don't like it. So I generally say that if you want to do it, do it. Don't impose anything on me. It's fine. It's your choice, your personal. This is a democracy. Every individual has their own value system they can, but you should understand what you are promoting. Do it. Go on, go ahead, do it, but understand what you are promoting by doing it. You are promoting regressive value system. And you know what? The modernity, median modern, that's what Sakshi was talking about. The entire concept of modernity is to continue the traditional values. What they do is, by calling it modern, they actually continue with the traditional values. So all this, just think of the institution called marriage. How confining it is for a woman. How many women can really enjoy their independence, that space in a marriage? Most of the time, I'm sorry, Imran, I'm not trying to really upset you about it, but do bear with my a little bit feministic contention. But 99% of the time, the woman has less choices in a marriage than anything else. And whereas, in spite of that, we are glorifying the institution beyond words. We are in so-called a digital, generation. We are seeing a digitized completely. You are having your dates online. You are checking out on people online, and you are doing everything online. But when it comes to marriage, आपको संगीत भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, everything with along with a big package of. By getting married, you are allowing the state to come inside into your personal space. It is state sponsored. बिकॉज पहले नहीं लगता है क्योंकि वो शादी तो पंडित जी आके करके गए हैं, बट यू हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड that the panditji is related to the state. The state, religion and bureaucracy are together the controlling authority of the society. So by taking the panditji or anyone, imam or even the go to a church and get yourself married, you are allowing the state to come in, because the day you want to walk out of that marriage, you'll have to file for a divorce, which is the state sponsored. Again, state will allow you to not stay together. So what are we doing by dignifying, yes, Sanika, you want to say something?
Yes, ma'am, I was thinking that that is correct. All these traditions and everything, they are in a way, confining women. But how is it a solution to not just follow them? Like we can remove the toxicity from it. For example, a marriage.
Hmm.
So a
I
marriage.
didn't get your question. Sorry.
So, for example, the marriage thing, so
Hmm.
it can also be seen from a point of view
Hmm.
that if anybody, any partner does something wrong to you,
Hmm.
you also have the government to protect you. It is not only that the government is inside your marriage, inside your personal affair. That is true that it is affecting you. It is not entirely. Marketed, like for example the karwa chauth thing also.
Hmm.
So now I understand. I don't like the idea of any woman, like I understand it's an emotional thing that okay, you want your husband to live and whatever, but what I don't understand the point, but it is a good a gesture. So now, for example, if my partner also does that for me and I do it for him, her, whoever, so that will be a good gesture. Now, for example, now instead of entirely abolishing these concepts, what we can do is we can just not follow or not let the toxicity affect us. Now, even
You're
in
right,
India,
Sanika.
because
Hmm. Yeah, in
um,
India.
yeah, so like India is I mean, it's not correct to say, I guess, but it's a very regressive country. So if we go to people, I'm sorry, but it is. So if we go to people and we say that no, I'm an atheist, I'm even if you say that you're a feminist, they're going to be very, very, very vile to you. So if we bring these concepts that we'll not support their traditional systems and everything, so they're just going to sideline you. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll be
yeah, definitely. See, Sanika, the point is, what I am telling you is that I will not be judging anyone for doing something. I will not do it. So the value system, what you are promoting, I might find it very hilarious, but I'm not going to make fun out of it. Someone is seriously following something out of love for her husband or his wife. If it is, means for me to even fasting for anything good is something which is a belief system. It has no scientific reason. It's a belief system. Fasting itself is scientific. If you do the fasting in a pattern, that like the Ramjan fasting is very scientific. It is done in a very scientific way. That actually makes you absorb yourself from all the toxic feelings out of your mind. You get out of it, and then you actually see the concept. I am an atheist, but I don't have any problem anybody following their religion. I will never comment on that. That is judgment. And when it comes to value system, I don't practice. I cannot practice it. I find it, but you know what? When my parents, they are normally religious, not overtly religious. They are normally religious. They ask me to give me some prasad. Even in the office, someone comes and gives me a prasad. I don't say chi. Okay, I have it. But for me, I do it for the person who has given me an empathy towards that person. Why? Why mess up with that person's feelings? That person is sincerely believing something. Who am I to change that? I'm not here to change anything. So the point is, removing the toxicity is actually, it's not that easy without going deep into the pattern. You cannot remove toxicity like that. When you are, marriage itself is a hierarchical institution. Let's accept it. शादी के दिन में आपको अभी दिया मिर्जा, what she did, she got a female priest for her shadi. That doesn't change anything in patriarchy. I'm sorry. It's a Brahminical patriarchal system. Marriage, the way we get married is a Brahminical system. इसमें एक लड़की आके आपको शादी करवाए या आपको एक मर्द आके शादी करवाए, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. That is what Phule said. Jyotiba Phule said that if you want to change the social system, you have to challenge Brahminical patriarchy, the system, the Brahminical pattern. If you want to become another of them, that we are a caste and we want to go up, that means you are accepting the caste system and then you want to go up. So I want to be regarded similarly like a Brahman. That means you are accepting the Brahman as, hierarchically up somewhere. So all these things, this toxicity is the basic. It is the outcome of the patriarchal system or the Brahminical patriarchal system. It cannot go away just by two people talking about it. You just look at again. Yeah, Sanika, you want to add to it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Like I understand it's what you said it is, but a marriage is also something which is a union of two people who love each other. Like simply it is that if I by saying that removing the toxicity, I'm talking about all who are saying. So we do not follow what they have told us to, but we because these things, it is not that they don't have meaning at all. So we just follow those things which we find acceptable. Now, for example, I don't think it is wrong to do those Sat Fere things. I don't know what they say, but I know these are promises the girl and boy make to each other. So
No,
I think,
actually, I got the entire mantras translated into Assamese on my wedding because I had to go. I'm being the eldest of the entire family, so I have my entire family pressurized me into going into that Havan wala shadi, means whatever.
Mhm.
So I said that I don't understand what you were speaking. So why don't you get me a translated copy? And I'm very sorry. The entire vows and everything is that she will give up everything for him, and he will only, he will only, secure you and see that you are not under duress or something like that. It's
Mhm.
about her giving everything, means continuously, and you are being actually given away.
Hmm.
Your parents are giving you away as one of the commodities.
Hmm.
That again, now you can always relate to what this advertisement recently, the ornament advertisement, that jewelry advertisement of
Alia Bhatt.
Alia Bhatt. That itself again is actually adhering to the norms by saying कन्यादान नहीं है. क्या बोला था? कन्यादान नहीं है, कन्या के मान है.
Hmm.
Kanya man, again, you are again equated to, see, this, you have to understand, the ownership of a woman's body is important for the economy to survive. You have, why is the concept of wife is there? Because the wife is the bearer of your next generation. So your
Hmm.
property, the accumulation of your property, that should go to your next generation. If you don't have any, if the woman is going around when she is as free as the man is to go and sleep with anyone, which was a primitive society when there was nobody knew whose son was who or which whose daughter was who. If you go back to that, then the property rights cannot be transferred for the transfer of the property rights, it is very important that the woman's body is owned. You should read Charugupta extensively, read Charugupta extensively, read Kumkum Roy extensively. You will understand the property rights of a woman's body. It has nothing to do with you. I'm very sorry. It is about your body, your reproductive organs. That is why when a woman cannot give birth to a child, forget a boy, even a child, there is pressure from the entire family that you please get married to another woman. Because बच्चे नहीं होगा तो कौन, ये जो मुखाग्नि करने वाला, वो लास्ट में देने वाला, ये सब नहीं है. It is only the periphery. The internal concept is the right to property. The property that you have accumulated, where will it go? So that's where it comes. So if you don't challenge that structure, rest of the things are very peripheral. That you can always do. You can have nice get together. You can always have a nice fight. You can always tell the man that I don't like this. These are all done, but you should understand that the right of a woman's body, the reproductive health of women is so much discussed. Why? Why do you think family planning has become such a big issue in this country? In spite of 2011 census showing very clearly that we are going down, the population is going down, means it is going to be under balanced level very soon. But still we are talking about it. Why? They cannot, and look at the contraceptives. 99% of the contraceptives are targeted towards the women's body, not the man's body. Condom is the most non-invasive contraceptive in this world. All the others, from the pills to everything, is completely invasive contraceptive for the women. I'm very sorry. I have digressed from that issue, but these are very important things that you have to understand. So when you say this is a choice, yeah, Gayatri Spivak, tubectomy is more prevalent than vasectomy. These are data all over the world. You can see it. And then it's not only female, race is also very much there. Religion is also very much there. You have to see the US. In the US, the place where the maximum family planning projects were running were inhabited by the black women, black people. So the race, controlling the race, the eugenics, the best blood, the blue blood, all these things come into it. It is not so easy to understand, because we all the time blame everything on population, everything on population. The population is increasing. That is why this is happening. But we are not questioning the main issue why population increases. So many hundreds and thousands of scholars have written till that development is the only way you can control population. You and just develop the community, and then they will definitely control the population. You will rarely see an educated middle class family have more than, I'm talking about my generation, three children. And by my generation, it's a single child families. When I had my second son, everybody was mocking me. तुम्हें हो क्या गया है, एक बच्चा काफी नहीं होता है तुम्हारे लिए, दो क्यों चाहिए? Though I am very happy I have two, because at least they can fight and stay together. I don't have to bother about them. So, but the point is, it's the mentality of the educated population has changed, and it changed because they know the cost of having children. But the poor people, when they have 4 children, they don't have to worry, because anyway they are not aspiring to send the children to modern school and then to Stephens. Okay, they are not aspiring anything. They just want 2 more hands to bring some money back home. That's it. So hitting the root cause is something which can only really address the issues that are on the periphery. These are the discussion that we were having right now were peripheral problem. These are not the root cause of the problem. Root causes are somewhere else. And by creating glitter and glamour of the periphery, we lose our complete focus on the root cause of the problem. Root cause of the issue is completely diluted. You are all educated. You have come to Delhi. Half of you are from Delhi. You are not representing India. You are just nowhere when it comes to the sea called India. Your views, your values can change the world when you go out and start writing or doing making other changes. But the rest of the India, which we call Bharat, is really in somewhere else. It's you just pick up the newspaper, you'll find it. So as a journalist, these issues, when you address these issues, go deep into it. If you don't go deep into it, you can always find a space in the page 3 of Times of India or the Daily Times, and get good money, have nice parties, and that's it. But journalism is, I don't call it fourth pillar of democracy, because that is appropriation of that institution into the system. I don't like it. Mm, you might have problem with that, but I call it the watchdog of the society. Media is the watchdog of the society. It's not the fourth pillar of democracy. Because the moment you say it's fourth pillar, bureaucracy, what are the three others? The legislature, executive, and why judiciary. So these three, and fourth they call it journalism. By saying that, you are saying that this is a total structure. By saying this, you are appropriating the media's watchdog role into your system, which is happening right now. You can see that's what's happening right now. Media has lost its credentials. We have credibility. In fact, I would rather go to a credible journalist page and read that page rather than actually watch television. I'm very sorry, I have no television at home. I have stopped watching it. Though can't help it, because the toxicity of television is something I cannot handle at the end of the day. It's impossible. So why are they doing it? This is an ethical question. Why are they doing it? Why do they do it? What are they doing? Everybody knows that they are doing this, then why are they doing it? Again, as I said, the person who pays the piper will set the tune. So you have to understand journalism is just another industry where someone is investing a lot of money with the objective of profit. So they are not going to be in loss. So Hani, you want to say something?
Ma'am, as you just quoted, I too believe this, that journalism is an industry, it's a career where you go to earn money, and that's how it works. But if you be ethical and follow practices that are not inclined towards the reality of the world, or if you be ethical, so you are basically living in some utopian world where you are not accepted. So how can we expect to actually sit aside from this reality? Because as you said, कि हमारे लिए choices already हैं. We just have to choose from those choices. So that basically means that we will never going to have a choice. कोई भी नहीं, आप नहीं, मैं नहीं, कोई भी नहीं. Nobody is going to have any choice throughout their life. So we are not going to have any choice. What we have to do is we have to select from the existing option. And if you have to create another choice, then it will take another age of yours. So that is not acceptable. So what to do at this stage?
Nothing. Basically, you have to continuously fight with the system. Not like fighting in a way that you write a Facebook post and say these are this and these are that. No. You have this ethical dilemma is something which will continue throughout your life. You are a journalist. Where to stop, what to report, what not to report. I remember one example, you know, Martin Luther King Jr. So there was I forgot the entire details of the story, but there was a protest, and a journalist, a photographer was photographing, clicking picture of the protest, and the police came and started beating a woman, and he left his photo camera and started trying save that woman. Then Martin Luther King later said that you didn't do your job because at that moment you were creating history by photo clicking the photograph of the, because at the television to Theni, few photographs are the what we have now. So you should have continued clicking photographs. You should not have bothered about the woman. Now that is a huge ethical dilemma a man can, a journalist will always have, and it happens when you go to onto conflict. When you go and report a conflict, what do you do? So there were so many people, अरे लोग मर रहे हैं और ये लोग फोटो खींचे जा रहे हैं, वो टीवी में पिक्चर ही लेते जा रहे हैं. What can he do? That's the job. That cannot be done. But yes, once your job is done, or now to you go with a group of people, one photographer is there, you are the reporter, you can always ask the photographer or the videographer, you go on capturing it and help the people too. But life is just, you have to remember, life is a continuous struggle, a challenge that ethically you will face, not only in your job, in your life, while you are a parent. Parenting itself is a big challenge. What to do, how much friendship are you going to make, uh, how much of a friend are you going to become of your children, how much controlling you will be, what is control good, is no control good. So this is what human life is all about. You will, Suhani, you will have these choices, you will be traumatized, be ready for all these things. You do an excellent reporting of an excellent, there is an excellent story, excellent reporting, come and give it to your editor, and he simply doesn't talk about it. Okay, I'll see and get it done, and he'll not talk about it, and you'll have to go through this pain. This is a part of life. Pain is a part of life. I don't know what your parents taught. Remember, 90% pain and 10% maybe happiness here and there. The world is not made for you. You have to make the world yours. Nobody is there except your parents. Nobody is there, and most of the time now the parenting is all about mera beta. That has messed up with this new generation, because you feel special. You are special, but so is the another girl also special amongst you. You are all equal. It's that equality concept of I am a Moldova mom is what where we messed up with the life of our children. By saying that I give Moldova to my children and I'm making something special out of that child, you are messing up with that child's complete psychology. There are so many films on it, but still will not learn it. We are still after it. I am berated day in and day out because both my sons are totally defocused. They don't know what to do. So from my parents to the extended family, everybody is worried कि बच्चे तो बिगड़ गए इसके. Because the elder son, he wakes up at 5 p.m. Get my point? And he's lunch it at 6. That is basically I call it early dinner for him. That way it makes me feel good. So, and then he works throughout the night, and at 3 you will see him brushing, because he will go to bed now, brushing his teeth and washing himself and then going to bed. Again he will wake up at 5. So this is his schedule, and any sane person coming to my family feels that I have messed up with their life, and sometimes even I am challenged. I also think maybe I have done it. So, Suhani, these are the dilemma, that this ethical value system dilemma that you will go through in your normal life, in your professional life, in your friendship, during your interaction with your teachers, your interaction with the auto wala as well. These are the dilemma that carries you forward. And I teach theory, communication theory. I don't know how much theory you have done. If you have done your theories, go back to your theories. They have the answers to all the questions that you will face in your life as a journalist. All the theories will tell you why this has happened, why this news that I had written didn't get a space, or got a space of 5 centimeters somewhere in the corner of the, tucked away in the corner of a newspaper, or just a ticker on the channel. You will find answers to all these questions in your theories. So I think we are right bang on time. If you have questions, I'll answer for a few minutes. Yeah, Imran.
Hello, Professor Goswami. Thank you so much for this brilliant talk. I missed the early 15 minutes. I'm sorry. I also was caught up with some family thing. My younger son was not able to sleep, so he clung to my chest and just was requesting in his own language to let him go to sleep. So that's what I did before I
This is the
came here.
parental dilemma, you know.
Yeah.
Parental dilemma.
But really, really wonderful listening to you. Some polemic ideas as well. Something I also tend to do in my classes if my students can find that kind of a resonance. Yeah, wonderful. I just would like to have one observation on this overall, the way you structure your talk. I feel somewhere, the way students even asked questions about value systems, about these traditions and all. I think what is interesting to note is that how how do we lack, how much smaller knowledge we have about the historical antecedents of our own field. For instance, journalism. So when students come in our first year batch, so they come with this passion of reporting and going into the newsroom and being an anchor and all, and halfway through the through the course they're like, oh, what the hell is this? This is all muck inside the profession. How do I, the way Sohani was telling, asking about this dilemma and all, I think they're slowly trying to understand that uh, as journalists, as students of journalism, we must primarily, first of all, assess our own field,
Yes,
try to locate its imperfections.
yes,
I think
yeah,
I think this batch of students and all of them are actually slowly learning the imperfections, the kind of aporia, we call it aporia, following Jack Derrida, कि imperfections जो होते हैं एक system में उनको पहले identify करना है.
identify करो.
So I think they are on course, and thank you for this wonderful direction. Because sometimes I used to feel myself as a clone, thinking about these things. Katyayani is here, and all these people are here. So we always wrestle with this idea of, okay, what is a state? Why do you suddenly think that state is the
So
father, or
important.
state is
Yeah.
the ultimate overarching?
Sacrosanct. Yeah.
State itself is subject to question. So we read philosophies of Mikhail Bakunin and all these Russian philosophers who sort of. So I was quite happy to see students responding and
Yeah,
very
they are
keen
quite
on
better.
asking. So thank you so much, and
Most welcome.
we really would look forward to hosting you sometime in near future at our department. We have a
Definitely.
lovely department, wonderful.
No, your institute is located in such a lovely place.
Yeah,
I used
but the
to work in
department
BBC
is
Media Action for some time.
absolutely.
So it was in Hoskas, so I used to cross that road every day.
So
I have
whenever
a
you
tendency
cross
of
next
drifting.
time,
I don't stick to any place for long, so I drift a lot. So in between, I drifted from IMC to BBC Media Action. I again came back, and I'm again looking out for some drifting thing because it really adds to your inform knowledge system. So yeah,
so really look forward to having you at our department.
definitely,
Our
it will be
bosses
a
are here,
pleasure.
Niti, Professor Niti Ved and Yuki Azad
It
Tomar,
will be a
Professor.
pleasure.
So we have a very open department to engage with. Particularly your work, I find your ideas very intriguing. Something that students would really like to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much, ma'am, for this insightful lecture. I have a very small observation, or can you say like it's a question that you explained the concept of modernization, like conserving the our own tradition.
mm,
So, ma'am, isn't in the future sense, or is
mm,
it in the present scenario that modernization and concept of westernization has been overlapped?
mm.
I
So
think,
it comes from the theory of modernization actually.
yes, ma'am.
Theory of modernization is all about the five stages. And it is a capitalistic theory of modernization. Because it's a market, because modernization itself is a market.
Yes, ma'am.
Without market, modernization cannot survive. Let's accept it totally. Consumerism is what sustains modernization. So, what modernity does is by appropriating culture, they showcase it and make it a trend, so that it is a trend. What is fashion? Fashion is all about creating a trend. So the trend decides on the market valuing system. So modernization, the concept of modernization came from the West, and they had promoted it. The and amount of Western knowledge that has come, even the textbooks that we read, the way it is written, the education system that we follow is completely Westernized. So you cannot, this is completely, it's overlaps. Modernization and Westernization overlaps. And that is why jeans is regarded as something which is modern, whereas jeans was a dress of the labor class. It was never a dress of an upper class people. It is a labor class dress. But because it has come from there. Anything coming from Western country is something that we go to H&M. We want to go to Forever 21. We know whereas we all know all these products are all made in either Vietnam, Myanmar, or Bangladesh, and even now in India as well. Though the brand is something which it's created, it's a facade, the face of one particular thing. So it's totally modernization is completely Westernization that we understand. So that is why a continuous debate is there that Indian modernization is something that we should create. Now we have lost our track long time back. Long time back, we have lost our track. Right now, pulling out that space and bringing it out, because we Indians were extremely modern before the British came. Say similar stories are there about Afghanistan. The modernization of Afghanistan was Westernization of Afghanistan once upon a time. When you see the pictures, only when you wear a skirt you are called modern. So I wear a sari to X, Y, Z every event. You let me ride a horse, I can do it in a sari. So I still am not regarded as very modern. Thankfully, I have a short hair, so they are confused. But otherwise, modernization is all about, we have not created the idea of Indian modernization because we don't have a Indian economic system. Once it's completely dependent on market, how the economy spans out is how modernization is all about. There is a full call.
Any other questions?
Just 1 second. Can I just pick up that internal call because some. Yeah. Any question? Yeah, Dr. Agarwal. Yes.
Good evening, Shashwati ji.
Good
I've
evening.
seen you at IIMC. I was there for this course on research methodology, which was conducted by Dr. Bamazai. And at that time I didn't get an opportunity to talk to you, but I definitely saw you at that time. And I didn't know you were such a feminist. And what you just said about modernization is so true, that modernization, we are looking at people and judging people and thinking whether they are modern or not. So it's the dress, it's the appearance that needs to be modern. And I'm reminded of Sudha Murthy's book, 3000 Stitches, in which she said that she was standing in the business line boarding, and one lady came to her and told her to go in the economy class. And when she was there for the function, she was there on stage and she was conducting the entire function. So this concept of modernity, which we think is actually very, very false and very, very superficial. So we need to know what is being modern.
You are absolutely right, because we confuse it a lot. So that is why have a feelings of being modern, we have a 5-star layout of a Karwa Chauth. It's not about the emotions, it's about the market. It has become a market oriented and we feel modern there. Emotionally, you do something, silently you do something for your husband. It's your personal choice. It has nothing to do with my likings, disliking. You can do whatever you want. But making a fun means it's like a gala event, you are that concept of being an emotional, very attached, very fine, intimate emotion, it has become something which is completely diluted and made into a it. I don't know. I would like to. If I do, I would have done it. I would do it in a very silent way. My children's birthday, I do it in a silent way. There is no fanfare at all. It's my memory of their. We generally share the day they were born, how they were born. What there is a lot of stories of their birth because I I had difficult pregnancies, both of them. So we share all those emotions and we relieve that rather than have that big, huge party where people are having fun, of course, but then we cannot connect. I cannot see my son there in that entire group of people. So if they want to have a party, it's not with me. They have it by themselves. You have to find out this way. I'm really sorry. There is a meeting. They're calling me. Yes, Imran, just last.
Just one, but are they also on the same page? Your children, you were saying that.
Thankfully, fingers crossed, they are on the same page and they make they're very easy children to live with. I mean, though they are, one has just passed his teenage and one is 18, one is 20. I didn't have much problem that parent generally, and I'm a single parent, and I didn't have that much of problem that generally parents go through with their teenage children, because we had one thing that I made it very clear from day one is that I will not say no just for the sake of it. I'll say no only when I have a logic behind it. So you have, when I say no, please do ask me why. So if I can give you an explanation which you accept, that means I am doing it with something on mind. It's not just parental control, that button that we have for Netflix and all. I'm really sorry. I have been getting calls from the office. There is a meeting I have to attend. Thank you so much, Savita ji and Imran.
Thank you so much.
And everyone, all students.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for an enlightening session. We have learned a lot, and especially for me, it's been an eye-opener the way we look at from a very market point of view, questioning these beliefs such ingrained, such as marriage, such as all of these institutions around us. We need to question them time and again. On what basis they are? How are they influencing us? So it is the question of all, from traditions to market to everything that is around.
Definitely. Questioning is something that the journalist has to do first. If you don't question, you don't get it. Right? So you have to. Without questioning, you will not get the story. So the question should be all rounded. You cannot question from one perspective. And that is where you should not come in. The journalist should come in. Your likings and dislikings are always to okay? Thank you so much. Much obliged. Bye. And
sorry, ma'am, just one quick picture before you go. May I request all the teachers, senior teachers, Geeta ma'am, Dr. Savita ma'am, and Dr. Anu ma'am, to please come on the camera, and all the students, please come on the camera. We'll have a quick picture. May I request everyone? Yes. Yeah, thank you. I can see all the smiling faces.
Yeah, while we let everybody come, it was an exceptionally good lecture.
Yes,
it was really nice.
Thank you so much.
Very nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course, questions remain, but we will therefore have to get in touch with you again.
Definitely, anytime. I'll be much obliged to be there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'll be much, ma'am. Thank you so much, and it was really nice. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
बहुत ही अच्छा सेशन था, जबरदस्त. Nice one. Good, Sakshi. Thank you. Thank you, Neeti ma'am, Yuki ma'am.
What a speaker! Fantastic! What a free-flowing, ideas and lot of clarity.
Absolutely.
It was very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Savita ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, recording. Please stop the recording.
Oh, sorry.
Then we can have a chit chat.
Yes, we can. Should I, girls?